Let's get right into it. Number 1. Sweating like a genius. You're lost in the desert. The sun is giving you the same look your microwave gives your leftover pizza. You're sweating so much you could refill a kiddie pool. But hey, that's good, right? Your body's cooling you down. That's what sweat is for. Except, plot twist, see, sweating is one of those genius evolutionary tricks that works great until it doesn't. In a survival scenario, like being stranded, dehydrated, or anywhere that doesn't involve a vending machine and air conditioning, sweating becomes a self-sabotage loop. You lose water, then more water, then salt, then electrolytes. Your blood thickens like discount syrup. Your organs go on strike, and all because your brain is screaming, "Hot!" like a fire alarm with no off switch. And here's the kicker. You can't not sweat. You can't just think, "Let's conserve fluids today," and your body says, "Cool, bro." Nope. It's automatic. You could be lying completely still under a cactus, trying your best to stay calm, and your sweat glands will still be throwing a rave. Basically, your body is trying to save you by licking itself to death. Number 2, hungry, time to forget everything. So, you haven't eaten in a while. Maybe a day, maybe 2. You're feeling lightheaded, seeing snack foods in cloud formations, and seriously considering whether tree bark counts as paleo. Then your brain decides, you know what we don't need right now? Memory. That's right. When you're starving, your brain starts acting like your phone on 1% battery. It shuts off anything it deems non-essential, like remembering where you walked or what berries you already tried and regretted, or, how to get back to your campsite. This isn't a glitch. It's biology. Your brain's hippocampus, the part responsible for memory and spatial navigation, needs a good bit of glucose to run properly. Starve it, and it becomes that one coworker who shows up late, forgets their laptop, and stares into space all day. In prehistoric times, this made a weird kind of sense. If food was scarce, you didn't need to remember stuff. You needed to find calories immediately. But in survival mode, this turns into forgetting critical survival info, like, don't drink from the green pond, it gave me explosive diarrhea. So yeah, your brain might help you survive starvation by making you dumb enough to die somewhere scenic. Number 3, too tired to sleep. You've been awake for 30 hours. You're cold, panicked, and your last good nap was back when the world still made sense. So obviously, it's time to sleep, right? Wrong. Because your brain has entered the funhouse of survival insomnia. See, when you're in danger, your nervous system flips on the hypervigilance switch. You're wired, alert, heart racing. Every squirrel sounds like a bear. Every breeze feels like a threat. And sleep, that's a luxury for people not stuck in a nightmare. This fight or flight mode is an evolutionary relic. It kept our ancestors alive when predators lurked nearby. But today, it turns you into a twitchy insomniac who can't recharge, even when your body is begging for it. And the consequences? Oh, just your basic cognitive collapse, hallucinations, paranoia, forgetting how to do simple things like walk in a straight line or speak in full sentences. After 48 hours, your brain starts behaving like it's drunk at a wedding, except nobody's dancing and you might die from it. So yes, in a survival situation, the one thing your body won't let you do is the one thing that might save you: sleep. Number 4. Pain? Ignore that. Here's a fun one. You break your ankle, or twist your knee, or maybe you cut your hand on something sharp while trying to look rugged. But you're in survival mode, so your body does this incredible magic trick. It turns off pain. That's called stress-induced analgesia, and it's your brain's way of saying, we'll deal with that mess later. And it works. For a while. Soldiers have run through battlefields with broken bones. Hikers have walked miles with shredded feet. Your body floods itself with endorphins and adrenaline so you can keep moving, because stopping could mean death. Here's the bad news. Eventually, that pain comes back. And when it does, oh buddy, it hits like karma with a steel chair. What started as a small injury, something manageable, is now a festering disaster. You didn't splint it, you didn't clean it, you probably made it worse, but you didn't feel it. So you kept walking like an action movie star until it became life-threatening. Your body is basically gaslighting you. Everything's fine, it screams, while quietly writing your obituary. Number 5. The I'm totally fine delusion. You're freezing. Like, actually freezing. Your body temperature has dropped below 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Your hands are numb, and your nose is doing a pretty good impression of a popsicle. But despite all this, you suddenly feel fine. In fact, you feel great, kind of warm, maybe even a little euphoric. Congratulations. This is called paradoxical undressing. It's exactly what it sounds like. People who are dying of hypothermia start stripping off their clothes because their brains mistakenly think they're overheating. Yes, your internal thermostat goes from "we're dying" to Hawaiian beach party with no warning. It's not just a weird phenomenon. It's one of the final stages before you lose consciousness. As your brain runs out of heat and energy, it starts hallucinating. You get confused, disoriented. You might think you're home, or that help is nearby. Some people even crawl into corners or under bushes to rest, where they quietly pass away, naked and convinced they're safe. Basically, your brain goes out with a dramatic, utterly unhelpful performance. A standing ovation-worthy finale of bad decisions. Number 6. Breathing yourself into a blackout. You're panicking, and rightfully so. You're lost, it's dark, and your phone's battery icon looks like it's dying of thirst. Your breathing speeds up, which makes sense. More oxygen, right? That should help. What you're doing is hyperventilating, and that means you're blowing off too much carbon dioxide. That might not sound like a big deal, but here's the weird truth. Your body needs a certain amount of CO2 to properly regulate blood flow, especially to your brain. Without it, blood vessels constrict. Oxygen delivery gets janky. Your brain, hilariously, gets less oxygen, even though you're gasping like a fish on a trampoline. Cue dizziness, tunnel vision, tingling hands, full-blown "I think I'm dying" sensation. And then you might pass out. Great job! You went from stressed to unconscious because your lungs thought turbo mode was a smart move. It's like trying to fix a leak by turning on all the faucets. Thanks, nervous system. Number 7. Let's drink something stupid. You're thirsty. Not like, I could use a latte thirsty. We're talking, I would drink water out of a shoe thirsty. So when you stumble across a stagnant pond or a random puddle or maybe a bottle of something you found in an abandoned shed, your survival brain goes, drink it. But here's the problem. Desperation does not equal filtration. The human body, while surprisingly sturdy in many ways, does not handle bacteria, parasites, or industrial chemicals well. Giardia, E. coli, Cryptosporidium. These charming, microscopic monsters love hanging out in untreated water and giving you diarrhea so violent it should come with a warning label. And that mystery fluid you found in a bottle? It could be antifreeze, it could be cleaning fluid, it could be something that makes your liver file for divorce. But your brain, in full stay alive mode, doesn't stop to think about chemistry or digestion. It just screams, fluid, now! And lets your mouth do the rest. This is how people die of dehydration faster, by drinking things that accelerate organ failure or make you lose more water than you gain. Your body's logic? Thirsty? Here's poison. Helpful. Number 8. The classic panic spiral. You're hiking. You miss a turn. Suddenly the trail's gone, the sun's sinking, and every tree looks like the last one. You realize you're lost, and then it begins. Your heart rate spikes. Your thoughts start racing. You pace in circles. You maybe scream into the void for good measure. Panic sets in. Now, your instincts might tell you to run. Maybe in the direction you think you came from. Or maybe toward that oddly shaped bush that totally looks like a landmark. Either way, you're officially in the survival equivalent of slapping random buttons on a malfunctioning machine. The psychological term is acute stress response, and it turns your decision-making into scrambled eggs. Your brain's frontal cortex, the part that does rational thinking, gets hijacked by the amygdala, the drama queen of emotions. You literally can't think straight. This leads to classic survival fails. Ditching your backpack, abandoning your water, walking even further from safety. One study found that people lost in the woods tend to walk in circles, often without realizing it, like a malfunctioning Roomba in the forest. So yes, panic doesn't just make you feel like you're dying. It actively helps you get there faster. Number 9. The help must be over that ridge curse. You've been wandering for hours, maybe days. Your legs feel like spaghetti noodles that lost a fight with a cheese grater. But up ahead, a hill, a glorious, cruel, hope-filled hill. and your brain whispers the most dangerous survival phrase of all time.
I bet the view from the top will help.
Spoiler alert, it won't. What you're experiencing is a psychological trap called summit fever, the irrational, often dangerous obsession with reaching the top even when it makes zero survival sense. It's most often blamed for deaths on Mount Everest, but you don't need to be freezing at 29,000 feet to fall for it. You just need hope and desperation and a body that forgot it's not a machine.
See, once your brain locks onto a goal, it starts ignoring all the red flags. The fatigue, the dehydration, the actual common sense that says, hey, maybe climbing higher with zero supplies is a dumb idea. Your vision narrows. Your inner monologue turns into a hype man with no chill. You get tunnel vision, literally and mentally, and spend your last precious energy on a view that usually reveals more hills, more trees, more disappointment. And now you're higher, more exhausted, more disoriented, and possibly out of options. So yes, your optimistic determination to just check over one more ridge could absolutely kill you. But hey, at least the view's nice, right? Number 10, the social niceness reflex.
Okay, picture this. You're injured. You're barely moving. But finally, another human being shows up. Maybe another hiker, maybe a stranger with a map and a questionable beard. And they ask, "Are you okay?"
And for some reason, you say,
"Yeah, I'm fine."
while you are not fine.
You're bleeding, limping, probably hallucinating that pine cones are talking. But in this moment, the deeply ingrained human reflex to be polite, not burden others, and avoid looking weak kicks in full throttle. This is the social survival instinct, a behavior that's useful in society, but spectacularly stupid in the wild. You don't want to look dramatic. You don't want to ask for help too loudly. You say things like, "I'm just a little tired," when your rib is possibly broken. Why? Because your brain still thinks you're at a cocktail party. It still thinks your reputation matters more than your vital signs. This isn't just anecdotal. Rescuers report that injured people routinely downplay their condition until it's critical. Some have even walked away from rescue helicopters because they didn't want to make a fuss. Yes, people have actually apologized for being rescued. So if your survival plan relies on someone reading between the lines of "I'm okay," maybe consider letting go of your inner Canadian and yell for help. Number 11, following the light. Let's end on a creepy one. You're dehydrated, sleep-deprived, possibly concussed, and suddenly a light in the distance, or a voice, or movement, something that feels important. Your instincts perk up. Your brain whispers, "Follow it." Don't. Just don't. This is called terminal lucidity or pre-death hallucination, and it's a documented and extremely unsettling phenomenon. People in critical states like hypothermia, dehydration, or hypoxia often report seeing lights, loved ones, or hearing voices guiding them toward safety. Except those things aren't there. Your brain, in its final shutdown phase, starts blending memories, dreams, and basic sensory input into a weird highlight reel. The result? A powerful, emotional urge to wander off the path toward nothing. A cliff, a river, a nice bush to curl up under and fade away peacefully while chatting with Grandma's ghost. It feels meaningful, it feels real, but it's just your neurons throwing a farewell party with sparklers and hallucinations. In short, when your brain starts going Spielberg on you, it's probably trying to end the movie. Don't follow the light. Follow reality, or better yet, stay put and conserve what little sense you have left.
That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them